any barriers hold you down. And think back about some of the past experiences and how you've been able to overcome them. It will give you greater strength to go forward. So I wish you all the best. And I know you can do it. So do it to make yourself proud.
Turn around. Turning point. Yeah. He's a turn around. Hello and welcome to Springboard, your virtual university. My name is Albert Okran. Welcome you to Ghana's foremost developmental program and that place where the greatest minds in the world converge. Springboard is brought to you by the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with Enterprise Group, MTN Ghana, and the Ghana Growth Program, a collaboration between MasterCard Foundation and Springboard. Our media partners, the multimedia group represented by Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Television, and of course, the graphic group of newspapers and the Springboard channel on YouTube. Today, we bring down the curtain, not really stopping, but as it were, wrapping up a series of conversations to mark International Women's Month. Our whole idea is that how can we celebrate women on only a day? It takes a whole month and more to touch base with the incredible achievements of women doing great stuff all over the country and beyond. And so we spent this month of March just saying thank you to exceptional women touching lives. And our hope through these conversations is to inspire the next generation of leaders, somebody to watch and say, okay, I can be the next big thing in this country as far as women leadership is concerned. So that's what we've been doing the entire month. And today is the last in these conversations. With me in the studio today is somebody that I call my big sister. We've been talking about give to gain. She's somebody who's given so much all her life. Essie Anno Sackey. She's a co-founder of Legacy Girls, and she's here with me in the studio. Essie, good to see you.
Good to see you, Albert. And thank you for having me.
It's a blessing. How are you, body, soul, and spirit?
Very good. Very good by the grace of God.
And family?
Family is doing well. Family is doing well.
Wow.
Exciting times ahead for the family.
Amen to that one.
Yes.
So let me dedicate today's show to two amazing young women you know very well. Just preparing for this show, I caught the news item that I thought this will make both yourself and my other big sister, Dr. Ellen Hagan, very, very happy. And that was the award for Huda Suleiman and Paula. So Huda was overall best candidate in Ghana and the best candidate in the general program arts option. Yeah. And Paula was the second best overall candidate in Ghana, I believe, in the WAXI.
Yes. Both were WAXI.
That is like first and second.
Yes. One school, Legacy Girls College.
I know, right? Charlie, talking about Legacy Girls, the last time I was in Sinchi. Went for a retreat with Comfort just to prayerfully reflect on the year, and I think that was a European day.
I met Comfort then.
Yes. And there were some students that were going to school, and they had convinced their parents to take them to Sinchi to have breakfast before they go to school because they are going to the Legacy Girls College. Let me say, one school in walking breakfast. But the way they said it, as I met them at the reception, and just the joy in the eyes of the students. When you were growing up, did you just think this was possible in any way?
Growing up, no. I didn't think that Legacy was, or that I was going to co-found a school. But I guess along the way, in discussions with Ellen, my partner, it was immensely possible. We knew it was.
But did you have a mother? My mother was a head teacher. Did you have any orientation that you will go into educational entrepreneurship or into education? Was it an early thing or a later thing that cropped up?
Interestingly, my mother was a teacher. She taught for many years.
Okay.
I'm married to a college professor.
Okay.
So education is around me.
Embedded in the family.
It is. But to be honest, I didn't think I would go into education. I mean, my interest and my career, as you know, has been more aviation related. But going into Legacy was because of some of the issues that I found that it's almost like you have a glass ceiling. and you are constantly butting your head against it. But as women, we wanted to be able to empower them beyond academics, beyond what they can do, and to always reach for however high they want to go. And it doesn't matter, whatever they choose to do, to be able to do it, that they are competent, they are confident, and they are committed to it. But I have to sidetrack because I have to give a shout out to Huda and Paula.
Absolutely. We talk about
We
them quite a bit.
we are so proud of them. Proud of them, and our girls from Legacy Girls, they came out tops, but we have such a wide variety of girls who are also doing or who did very well academically. And I think the interesting thing about Paula and Huda is they are active. They were active in on campus.
You know, when in school there was this divide. There were those who believed that if you were active in extracurricular activity and so on, it would affect your academics. So they came to school and we used to call them anti, so they wouldn't join anything. And one of them even wouldn't even chat in class.
Yes,
Every time he
yes,
said his bow down, he's
yeah.
covered his ears and his leg. He said, "Child told us, but then you find that it would seem that those who balance their learning with also extracurricular and other activities were able to come out more rounded. But this is an exceptional one. They actually came out on top.
They came out on top, and they are very rounded because they participated fully in the life of the school. Paula was a head girl, and being the head girl is very busy because you're in meetings, you're engaging with the management, you're engaging with students, and they are involved in MUN, in sports. They had a very busy social life.
I can imagine their parents would be over the moon with this. I mean, it must be a big family thing for them to have achieved this.
Was it maybe a weekend ago? We went to WAEC. WAEC did the presentation. So there were different schools were there, their parents were there, and they were recognized. And it was a big ceremony, well organized
Give me
by
the feel
WAEC.
of the moment. How did it feel? What did they say? I mean,
Parents, as well as us as school, I mean, we were shouting, we were dancing, but really proud of the achievement of both girls. You mentioned about some students being focused just on the academics. It's not only the students, some parents also feel that I've sent my child to school to learn, etc. But in this changing days of work, the academics will always be important, but you need to broaden out. And some parents do not appreciate, unfortunately.
let's help them. In my last week's conversation with Constance, Constance, who we
Yes,
both
yes.
are very closely connected to, she was highlighting the fact that the technical curriculum that most people think they come there for is just 40%, and that the remaining 60 is spent on rounding them in the education, building the soft skills. What is the philosophy of Legacy Girls in terms of the kind of education you want to give to the students who come to your place?
So, in terms of the education we want to give, one, of course, we want the girls to be academically strong. We want whoever walks in our corridors to be better from when they came in to when they left. We want them to be confident. We want them to be caring. We want them to be committed to whatever they're doing. We want them to have integrity, determination. We want them to be excellent. So, whatever you do, you have to go the whole hog. I must also mention that legacy, we last year was 10 years, and we looked at what does the next 10 years bring. And we've carved out what's a legacy girl. When you come in to when you leave, the sort of qualities, the sort of characteristics that you should imbibe. So that's we're rolling that program out. And even though we've had good successes in the past, I think the future is brighter still. Because when you interact with the young people, they have immense potential. And sometimes we limit them and we want to open them to these potentials because this day and age, working is not like traditional before. Your creativity, your ability to solve problems, and not just to list what the problems are, your ability to adapt quickly, those are some of the qualities that help people succeed. And we want the girls to have that right from the start, not later on in their work life.
So, Essie, I mean, I look back at yourself, a leader in your own right, in various ways. We've interacted on different platforms, and considering who you are, who you have become over the years, what do you think these young women at Legacy Girls are getting, and by extension, other schools that provide that holistic education are getting that you did not get when you were in school?
What didn't I get? In school, I mean, yes, it was again more about the academics, but I went to Wesley Girls, that's a known fact. There were extracurricular activities that we all participated in. I think sometimes some of those, the emphasis is lost, but more important is to understand what those co-curricular activities bring to you. And it's not just doing it. I was in a Red Cross, for example, and it was interesting going out and going out to the villages to administer um, basic medical relief. But it was more about service. And it wasn't just because we could go and buy coconuts to eat, it was being of service. So I needed to understand that that is what I was doing. I guess I didn't get that understanding then until later. So at Legacy, we want the girls to understand.
Okay.
To understand why we ask that certain things should be done, why they choose to do certain things, because then you learn and you know the real reason behind whatever you're doing. And that will help you later on in life.
There's so much intentionality these days about strategy, about approach, about position. And you mentioned your the persona you want to create for the next 10 years because you want to be sure people know why they're coming.
Yeah.
I call her my niece. She says, Daddy, Uncle Albert, tell Daddy that I want to go to Legacy Girls. and she went and she finished and she's now doing architecture at Central University, and she made sure, okay, so the twins two are going. I've seen that. I must get used to the fact that all my nieces from that family, the Diaba family, are going through Legacy Girls because she went through, she had a good time. And she says, okay, so the next batch say, okay, which you are going to Legacy Girls.
Yes.
And I'm saying, what did they see? What did they hear? What has made them so determined? And that's what you're trying to explore. But beyond that, what is the power of education in shaping thought, in raising leaders, in positioning people for the future from where you sit?
Where I sit, I mean, education, it's a leveler. Education helps you to explore beyond your own horizon. And we are so blessed with technology now that education can open up so many horizons for you, which in the past wasn't easily available. I mean, with education and talking about education, I know you're not talking about just academics.
Oh, yeah.
Because education is on so many other fronts. How to live with people, how to interact, how to bond, how to settle disputes. All of that is part of education. How to be a leader among your peers. And at Legacy, we try to get the girls to do all of that so that the confidence that they have in themselves about their ability to do, the ability, if you don't even have the information, you know that you can go and research, you can get it. That basic can do spirit. That is what the legacy education will bring out in the girls who will walk their
Springboard of
corridors.
Virtual University, we are wrapping up our conversations on women in leadership, and my guest for today, Essie Anno Sackey. Essie is helping me to understand the thinking behind the journey of Legacy Girls. 10 years already.
10
I
years
remember like it
already.
was yesterday.
10 years.
10 years in the life of Legacy Girls College at the Akuse campus. That's where it is, isn't it?
Yes, it's Akuse.
Wonderful. And even more importantly, we are trusting that this conversation will inspire the next generation of Essie Anno Sackey's, of Ellen Hagans, of Constance Swanikers, of bold amazing women in leadership who are daring to dream and to believe that they can do big things. Do you, I mean, in the journey, you mentioned the glass ceiling, the journey of women in leadership, looking at where we are now versus where we were 10 years ago, would you say that we've made progress in amplifying the voices of women in leadership and creating opportunity to learn from them and to also experience everything that, if I may say so, God has invested in them?
I think women have been amazing. And I get a lot of energy from the young people who are doing fantastic things in Ghana and around the world. The women have pushed, they have broken through the glass ceiling. But that is not to say that it is over. There are still issues of domestic abuse, there are still issues of sexual harassment in the workplace that we need to grapple with. But I think if you look at the past, the women are doing very well. They are doing well.
What gives you the most joy? You mentioned interacting with the young people and getting energy from them. Where does the joy come from? What is it that fascinates you?
You know, when I look at the young people, when you interact with them, you talk with them, their level of thinking, they are fearless, I should say, and the can-do spirit that they have. It gives me joy. It just gives me joy. It gives me great hope for our country, for the future, that these women, these young people can do it. And you look at some of the things that they are doing in technology, and I think, wow, you are as good as anyone anywhere else. And we need to tell them that. Tell them that you are very good.
Let's talk about the enablers of change. Let's talk about the things that are making these changes happen. We just finished traveling, not finished. We've just been traveling intensively. We've done this for 2 decades, but in the past 3 years, we've traveled around the country inspiring young people, especially young women, persons with disability, to be bold about exploring opportunities in agriculture, in agribusiness, in ATVET. And one thing that has amazed us is how little it takes to give somebody an opportunity, how little it takes to give somebody hope. There are some of the people we work with that we literally, I mean, beyond the preliminary work, just spent a week with them. And yet they've been able to start their own businesses, do things, galvanize people, change their families. And you're looking back and say, is that all? There's some people that you look at the amount of investment in a starter pack that you give them, and you're like, is that all it takes to change a person's life? Do you think that sometimes we sit here and cry, we lose track of how little it takes to lift somebody up?
I mean, absolutely. I think sometimes we think Ghana is a crowd. And yesterday there was a radio program that I think it was City listening to the MP for Tatale, and he was talking about no teachers in the north or his constituency, the difficulty of getting teachers, kids who are not going to school, sanitation issues, the roads. And you're right, sometimes it takes very little. I mean, something else that I do is I have an NGO to help, again, women to start businesses and to, it's not only to start business, but to give them some basic training on how to manage their finances. And it takes very little. For a lot of them, it takes very little. They are honest with payment, with repayment, and it can transform their lives. Because one, the woman will make sure that the kids are well fed, the children are well fed, they are going to school, and the future will be brighter. So there's a multiplier effect. And it starts with there's a small investment that you make in them, small investment and training them on how to manage their business. Let them see what the full picture is. And the results just astound me.
So for you, growing up, what were the values that you held dear? And I'm trying to picture the journey and what has been the drivers of the choices that you've made. Growing up, what were the values you held closely?
Growing up, I come from a very close knit family. I mean, my father during the school holidays, would put us all in a car and would drive around. His mantra was that you should know Ghana. You should know what the others, how people live. So we traveled around the entire country. And
what was the favorite part
what was the favorite part?
for you?
Sitting in a car fighting with my siblings.
No, destination.
We went as far as Mali, actually.
You serious?
Serious.
I was about to brag, but I've kept my bragging to myself.
We went as far as Mali, and my father would book guest houses along the way.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
We see my love for geography started from that, because you see the vegetation change as we drive. So we're being educated, and at that time we didn't have all the phones and internet and so on. One of my siblings had to do the what do you call it? You had maps, so she would check
the navigation.
Yes, she would do the navigation using the map. So we learned how to read maps. We're supposed to make notes about our journey, the experience. But my parents, I guess, taught us a lot of values. I mean, one of the things, when I went to work with Ghana Airports Company, and I was in two minds, because I was thinking about leaving British Airways. I had the opportunity to be MD of Ghana Airports Company, and I was getting different views. I talked to various people that should I go into public service and so on and so forth. And what he said to me is, Essie, so long as you don't see your name in the papers that you've done something wrong, go for it. Do the public service. And he was all about public service. He was all about giving back. And so in growing up in our family, that had been one of the basic values, because he would go to the villages, see what was going on. He was indeed one of the foremost people in thinking about rural banking ideas. So we've grown up with that. We all grew up with that, looking at how to.
I'm still picturing the Mali part. The South region is not very amenable to this kind of travel, but people still do.
Now.
People still do. My friends Teddy and Co still travel all the way to the UK and all.
But, so we went as far as Bamako and came back through Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to brag about the fact that I would do confronting. I would do from the Togo border, sometimes crossover, but to Elubo and then Cote d'Ivoire. But your own, right now is serious.
We've done all.
You have made us small cry.
Yes.
So now thinking of travel, family travel as a means of socialization, orientation, and its impact on your career. I mean, I wouldn't have thought at any time that those would be the drivers of the choices that you make, the career you pursue, the education you pursue. But thinking back at it, I'm seeing naturally those factors matter.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, they absolutely do. My father was in banking, so I went into economics, that field, and I could talk to him about business and so on and so forth. My other siblings were more science-based.
Right. When I come back from this break, I'm going to explore your journey in aviation.
Okay.
Let's find out about British Airways. Let's find out about Ghana, the Ghana Airports Company. Let's find out about your fascination with aviation. I'll tell you my own aviation story when I come back. But if you just joined us, my guest, Essie Anno Sackey, she's a co-founder of Legacy Girls, and she has a rich journey also in aviation. She's helping us to appreciate the journey of women in leadership as we wrap up our series to mark the International Women's Month that we have classified it here as Springboard. We say a day is not enough. And these conversations are meant to explore the journeys, harvest the learnings, and inspire the next generation of women in leadership. This is brought to you by the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with MTN Ghana, the Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Growth Program, a collaboration between Mastercard Foundation and Springboard. Our media partners, Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Television, the Graphic Group of Newspapers, and the Springboard channel on YouTube. When we come back, let's take this to the next level. Please don't go away.
Going to the library. Going to the library.
Okay.
I'm going for my graduation. Go well.
Education changes stories, and being part of these stories is the real passion for us. MTN.
No stress. Submit your insurance claim online in just seconds on the Claims Express portal. Simply upload your national ID, cost estimates, pictures, and more to get started. Submit online, track progress, and get paid fast. Skip the paperwork and get back on the road with ease. Visit claimexpress.enterprisegroup.net.gh for easy claims and quick payouts with absolutely no stress.
Enterprise, your advantage.
The journey from idea to enterprise begins with one bold step forward. Are you a Ghanaian or a legal resident in Ghana with a registered business operating in Ghana? Are you between the ages of 18 to 40 years old? If your answer is yes to all of these, then this is your time to be in that spotlight.
With up to 500,000 Ghana cedis in cash prize and mentorship to grow that dream business through Enterprise Spotlight, this is your big moment. From agriculture, fashion, engineering, transportation to AI and software technology, as long as it's innovative, impactful, and ingenious, it belongs here. To apply, simply scan the QR code or call the number displayed on your screens right now. This initiative is proudly brought to you by the Enterprise Group and is a youth entrepreneurship challenge.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Welcome back to Springboard Virtual University and to this incredible conversation about legacy, and legacy. You know that name, legacy, and legacy. If you know, you know. So this has been a series on to mark International Women's Day and by extension, a month of celebrating women in leadership. And my guest for today is Essie Anno Sackey. Just to remind you, the Springboard is brought to you by Springboard. Your virtual university is brought to you by the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with Enterprise Group, MTN Ghana, and the Ghana Growth Program, a collaboration between Mastercard Foundation and Springboard. Talking about enterprise, if you are a young entrepreneur aged between 18 and 40, this is your moment. Imagine your business being celebrated right here on this show, the whole world hearing about you, your little beginnings being given the spotlight to become the next big thing. And maybe a few years from now, you sitting in the same chair and being celebrated as the next big icon to have come out of Ghana. That's the picture. And it's about the Enterprise Spotlight 2026. Applications are open. If you would like your business to get the spotlight for free, please apply right now. You actually could get a chance, apart from a whole year of mentorship, a whole year of structured guidance, and all other benefits that go with it, to also win a part of the prize pool, the cash prize pool of 500,000 Ghana cedis. This is what they call Umpewe na Upedieng. So please apply between now and the 6th of April 2026. How do you apply? Just go to the website mynterprisegroup.io and click on the link to apply for the Enterprise Spotlight, or go to our website springboard.com.gh and click on the link, or just WhatsApp the number 024-9999-555, and you can apply and you will be considered by a panel of judges. And if you are one of the 24 selected, this is going to be a dream come true for you. Also note that Enterprise is now ISO 27001 certified, and so your data is secure. Right, so back to the studios and to my conversation with Essie Anno Sackey. Let me just tell you that I am dedicating this conversation to two young women that put a smile on my face because of their excellent results in the WASI. Actually did well in the WASI, but the results they got, their own is senior, my own is middle. There were people who were bottom there. Sometimes I look at the stages of our lives, and I realize that my results for postgraduate level and beyond were 10 times better than my results at undergrad and even my results at the secondary level. And I say, this is a very interesting flip, because others too did very well, and then it came down, and then some are always there. But I look at their results, Huda and Paula, and I feel, Charlie, this is beautiful. It's putting Ghana on the map, on the global map, especially as we celebrate Ghana month. So this is a dedication to Huda Suleiman and Paula. So to your parents, to the traditional leaders in your hometown, every stakeholder, your teachers, your principals, your founders, everyone celebrating the best overall student in Ghana for the WAXI, and then the second overall best student. And I'm told there's some West Africa prize too coming up.
Yes, for Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. WASI.
These are meaningful. I mean, the whole of their lives, I'm sure they won't forget this.
They won't forget this. And can you imagine, they are young. What is their future?
What a bright start.
Exactly.
So this is Springboard, your virtual university, and we are hunting for the next Huda, the next Paula, the next person hiding somewhere in the rural community and saying, this is your moment. Rise up and become the next big thing that we'll be celebrating on all networks. Let's talk about aviation. The first time I heard about you were in British Airways.
That's right.
Tell me about your time there.
Okay. To start, I think I want to tell all the young people that they shouldn't discount their experiences. And I will expand on that. Growing up or in school, when I finished my master's, aviation wasn't on my mind. But I lived in the US, I worked a bit, and I worked in a dress shop. And my experiences in that dress shop is what got me into British Airways.
Dress?
Yes.
Dress and plane. When you dress and plane, come on.
I tell you.
How did it happen?
I tell you. So that's why I say don't discount any experience. And especially, you think that they are menial work experiences, don't discount it.
Tell me about it.
Because at that time, the title was a sales executive? I can't remember. But they wanted somebody to sell. And the things that I had learned whilst working in a dress shop is what I talked about during the interview. And that's what got me the job. Wow. That is how I got into British Airways. I didn't know the first thing about flying. Yes, of course, I tried to find out some basic information. I didn't. And the career was good. My time at British Airways, so I learned a lot.
Tell me about the trajectory.
Okay. So I will tell you about two experiences, and I think those have also shaped my leadership journey. British Airways, I had very good and supportive bosses. They believed in me. They gave me work that they could trust that I could do well, and I did it well. And so when it came to the expert manager was leaving, I was actually on maternity leave, and I got a call that, you see, we think you can do this job.
As country manager?
As country manager.
It's a big thing.
It's a big thing because all the time, my career to date, and all the, the international airlines, all had expert managers. And to give that responsibility to a Ghanaian and to a woman, it hadn't happened then. But anyway, when I was appointed into the role, I was quite, how do I do this? Very soon after, we had to, from the UK, they were coming to do an extensive audit. And this whole thinking, there's like Ghanaian and corruption and what about practices? And I thought, we will show them. We will show them that in the past, we were doing the work and we will continue doing it. I rallied the team together. We went through our processes, made sure that we were on point. And it was one of the best audits that had been done.
How did it make you feel?
It made me feel that I can do it. It made me know that I can do it, the team, we can do it. So it wasn't just about me, but it was about the team. And that when you give them the clarity, they're able to deliver. The second incident was we had a passenger. Those times we didn't have the air bridges, So on arrival, the bus will pick you to the terminal. So there was a passenger, and the bus picked all of them. And as one of the passengers, because she was a bit handicapped, she was slow in getting off. The driver didn't check.
Wow.
And so she fell. Now, liability issues, we have the doctor check, and because she wasn't well, what to do. I didn't know how to handle this. But again, I learned that you have to seek the information. You have to talk to people who know how to deal with such a situation. I didn't have the answers, but I did. And the situation ended well. And it made me know that, okay, you don't have to know everything, but you should know where to go and seek the information. You should know how to get people to support what you're doing.
Leadership can be very challenging.
It
This
can be also lonely.
Because I'm just imagining that this same single incident you mentioned, handled wrongly, wrong timing, things like this have brought down people's careers.
I remember very clearly, and it was almost like a medical emergency. How do you deal with this? What about the liability issues?
What kind of person have you become as a result of what you've seen, learned, and experienced?
I think you have to ask other people about the sort of person I've become. I think I'm more courageous. In a sense, I know that God has my back and will see me through. And I have that confidence. So in the past, maybe I'll be very upset, nervous about things. And maybe it comes with age as well. I know that, look, it will pass. And my thing is, with each experience, I'm quick to say, Lord, what do you want me to learn from this? What do you want me to learn? Let me learn, then I move forward with it.
How big is faith in your personal philosophy of life and construct?
It's my being. My faith is very important to me. And I think I try to live as well as I can based on my faith. And it's not easy. I'm very human, make mistakes, but there's repentance. So you can only get better.
And what can we say? Amen to that one.
Yeah,
Let's talk about intentionality. Sometimes you look back at results and you say, you know what? I remember 5 years ago, I put this thing here with this in mind. I didn't know it would become so big, but I can tell you that had I not made this investment, this decision at that time, it won't be here today. And then you talk about, wow, intentionality.
Yeah.
Would that be your thinking as well about the power of intentionality?
And again, absolutely, moving on more in life, you have to be intentional. You don't wait for things to just happen by chance, but you have to plan and think through. Sometimes, I must say, sometimes they can happen by chance, but when you're more intentional, then you know the results a bit better, what you can do. But in terms of how you deal with people, how you run the business, you need to be intentional. You need to be intentional. You need to be focused. You need to think and plan for the future. And it's not only the future for yourself, but legacy, not legacy school. What do you leave behind?
Yeah.
You have to be intentional about it, about making those decisions.
And the higher you climb, the more your decisions now affect many more lives than just the few that are around you.
That's true.
So let me transition you from British Airways to the managing director, Ghana Airports Company. Suddenly, it's no longer about the team you work with. It's now about so many moving parts. How did it feel? Were you thrown into the deep end? How did it go?
Okay. So again, it's aviation. So I like the aviation because British Airways, what I had done was a bit more narrow. It was a bit more commercial driven. But in the airport company, and in terms of numbers, British Airways was not many people. But it's all like times 10, times 20. And the problems times 100.
Wow.
And there were issues that in British Airways, we were quite cushioned. I didn't have to deal with in airport company, in British Airways, but I had to deal with the airport company. The politics, I had to deal with that. And that was difficult because I had come out and I had learned that within British Airways, everything was process driven. And I loved it. You have your processes, and it's easy when you have clear processes because then it's easy to say no, it's easy to say yes because the processes are there. You have some leeway. There's a little bit. When you're a manager, you have some leeway, but there are clear structures. Airport company was different. So it was interesting. It was interesting, but I learned the other side of aviation business because then I could understand a bit more some of the challenges. As airlines, we will have meetings with the airports. Not at that time, it was GCA. You need to have the security. You have to do this. We are shouting and so on. But now I'm on the other side, so a better appreciation about how to manage that. You look at the finances and how to balance the financials. Again, is something that wasn't so big. So it was a big learning opportunity for me. Big learning. It wasn't easy. I remember, but I brought my family along. And let me share this with you. I mean, one of my things at airport company was I wanted every Friday to clear my desk as much as possible. So my children were young, and from school, they will all come. They're in my office lying on the floor. They'll get something to eat, and we will work till late. And yeah, it was fun. When they get bored, they go and walk around the airport, but eventually we'll pile into the car and go home.
Did
sleep.
that also influence them career-wise?
I think so. My son is a pilot.
There you go.
And
So is he like father, like daughter, like son?
you see, no, for him as well, I think very early going on flights, those days before 9/11, you could go into the cockpit. So we'll do that. I know when President Obama came to Ghana, we were in the tower. So looking at the entire airport with listening to the
commentary.
Yes, Air Force One landing. I think it all had an impression on him.
Those were very iconic moments in your career.
Oh, they were. They were shaking President Obama's hand and the detail that was required for the security at the airport. I mean, these are experiences that I won't give up for anything.
I like those words. I won't give it up for anything. What in your personal opinion is the good society?
When we look at our brothers and sisters, I go to the market myself and I see how difficult it is for people to live, and it's just basics that they need. I think the good society is how we can help others, how we can all live such that everyone, that they are able to get good education. They are able to, sanitation isn't such a big issue. They are able to have the basics of life. Yeah. And that is what I feel that is the good society. That's a good society that we should all aim for in our own little ways to bring to bear.
What do you think we should? What do you think we could do differently if the whole nation is listening to you? What's at least one low-hanging fruit that? So at least if we can't do anything, try this. What in your opinion, what one thing do you think you would like to see us do differently as a nation, collectively?
As a nation, I was recently in Zimbabwe, in Harare, and I was surprised that the city center, how clean it was. Because I've been to other African countries and it's not. And I look at Accra and we can do better. And I hear that we need jobs. I mean, people need jobs. Why can't we rally and get the city clean and find a way to pay for it to be done?
Interestingly, once in a while, every Ghana month, I post a series of posts on Facebook, your favorite food, your favorite Ghanaian game, your favorite Ghanaian anything. And one of the things I post is the cleanest city in Ghana. You know, the mix between reality and emotion on that post can be very interesting. But some regular players emerge I've traveled around the whole country, so I know all the regional capitals. And when I post that post, I know the top 3. But if I say it to me, there'll be trouble. But
So
go and read my post, you see that. But every year those 3 come up.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting because we love clean cities. We do love them.
We do.
But you're saying we can do more
to
make them happen. But one thing I can tell you is that we love them. When we see it, we like it.
Yes.
When we see it, we like it.
And you hear about schoolgirls who can't go to school because they don't have good toilets. Why?
Yeah. Or cross a river.
Yes.
And there's no boat, stones. Yeah. Let's talk about mentorship. The power of mentorship. In the journey of my life, I've seen quite a bit of intentionality in mentoring programs being designed to empower others to also be able to do well. What do you think of mentorship?
Many years ago, I always keep going back to many years ago.
Very important.
Yes.
You should say once upon a time.
Nah.
Yeah, nah.
No. I used to think then that it was overhyped. And especially living in the US, and every so often you hear about somebody going for counseling. And I think that in Ghana, I used to say to my friends that in Ghana, we don't do counseling because your aunts will straighten you up if you are misbehaving. But the world has changed. The young people have access to so much more information that sometimes as parents or as adults, you can't control. Therefore, mentorship, therefore, counseling becomes important because they need to hear. They need to hear. They might not take it all, but they need to hear because there's so much information and misinformation out there. So mentorship now, even at my level now, I will take part in a mentorship program because you always learn. Yeah. Learning never ends.
Like you said, like you said about learning, mentorship is not always very formal, structured mentoring, but just that ability for somebody who has seen it all and done it in an area you haven't done it in, pointing you to where the fault lines lie and where the opportunities lie. Yeah. It's priceless.
It is, absolutely. It is.
Let's look at the future. With all that you are involved in, aviation, Legacy Girls, Aliwa, Africa Leadership Initiative West Africa, you've been chair, mentoring leaders, raising leaders in your own unique way. Looking forward into the future, what legacy would you like to leave behind? When your name is mentioned, what do you want people to say about what happened to them as a result of your being around?
I hope people will say I was a friend. I hope in my journey, I have made tangible differences in the lives of people. And it doesn't have to be in a big way. It can be because of a conversation we had, because of a little seed that was sown in their lives, an opportunity to come and work for me, and the difference that it made to them and to their family.
When you talk about an opportunity to come and work for you, I was going to ask you, who's your favorite boss in the whole of your life?
Who's my favorite boss? Oh, there's no doubt about it. He's called Chef Saeed, and we are still good friends to today.
What do you like about Chef?
he let me run. He let me run. He didn't restrict what I could do. He let me soar. And I always knew that I had him in my corner.
I'm asking because, I mean, on this show, we literally would have different leaders, different people listening. And I listen very carefully when I ask that question because you may think they are leading people, you're supporting them, or they are doing the very best, but you may never feature in their mention of the people that had the greatest impact in their lives. So when I ask somebody about their favorite boss, I'm listening not just to the name, but to the why.
To the why.
And to you, letting people soul
Yes.
is the big one.
It was big for me.
What would make somebody come to that conclusion that this person was an enabler? They made me soar. What would make the person come to that kind of conclusion?
I hope in my day-to-day interactions, I'm empowering people and making them believe in themselves. Because sometimes you don't know what you have. It's somebody else that might see it and encourage you. So I hope they would say that I did that, and that my communication with them was clear. They understood exactly where I was coming from, how things to be done, the vision, etc. All of that.
In a season of Easter, a season of sacrifice. When I think about sacrifice, beyond what Christ did for us, beyond what others have done to make the world a better place for me, I think about my mother. And so as we wrap up this conversation in this month that we are celebrating women leaders, we'll talk about women who have been presidents, women who have been business leaders, women who are doing big things in education, science, and everything. But I can't wrap up without talking about Dora, my mother, who was also a head teacher, was in education. She's still very much alive. I'm sure she's listening and seeing she needs TV. But when I think about sacrifice, I think she gave me everything that she had. And so I remember her on this day, and I celebrate her for what she has done. And that means a lot to me. Sacrifice.
Yeah.
How big is it?
Sacrifice. I mean, I think when you're a mother, sacrifice goes with it, because you will do everything that you can for your children. My mother did it for me, and not only for me, but for my siblings. My mom was a very smart woman, but she chose to be with us a lot more than being out. And I look back now and the immense sacrifice. Little things. We'll be eating, or she will be eating, and we'll go and join her. And she liked fish head, which I like too.
Really?
But she'll put it aside and let us eat it. Maybe I don't think I'll do that for my
I
children.
hear those two fish head, they're very brilliant. I have two friends that I'm thinking about. Very smart guys, and they like fish head.
But the point is how much a mother sacrifices her own comfort.
I know, right?
Her own pleasure for her children. And I think sometime my mom passed 3 years ago.
May her soul rest in peace.
Thank you. And one of the things I learned from my mother is I appreciated the sacrifice the Lord had done for us because of my mother.
Beautiful note on which to end. The note of sacrifice, the note of motherhood, the note of appreciation. Let's sign off with a message for that young woman watching you, that young person watching you and saying, oh, I have a nice way of saying it. And saying, one day I'll also be great. Look them in the eye and tell them what you think they can do starting today that would enable them to make an impact in their lives and in generations after them.
All right. My dear young person listening today, the world is at your feet. Take hold of every experience. Learn and grow. Have the confidence to step out, to do what is in your heart. Know what is in your heart and reach for it. You can only soar as high as your mind will take you. So let your mind soar. Don't let any barriers hold you down. And think back about some of the past experiences and how you've been able to overcome them, it will give you greater strength to go forward. So I wish you all the best, and I know you can do it. So do it to make yourself proud.
Thank you very much. And I've put part of that in my pocket as well, that I can go as far and as high as my mind can. So when you said a high, I said that's an aviation person talking.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Essie. Thanks for coming. Let's do this again.
Thank you so much.
Right. So this is another inspiring edition of our Women in Leadership Conversations. And this is the final one in this particular series. And I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope you've been inspired. I hope you've been reminded of the sense of responsibility that we have to build the good society, as Essie said, where everyone can at least have a decent meal and a quality of life that they can be proud of. As we all work towards that ultimate destination, I hope that the learnings from her leadership journey, the legacy story, even the achievements of these two incredible young women will tell you that beginning from today, you can start to make the world a better place, starting with yourself. This has been Springboard, your virtual university, and this has been brought to you by the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with MTN Ghana, the Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Growth Program, a collaboration between MasterCard Foundation and Springboard. Our media partners, a big thank you to Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Television, and of course to the Graphic Group of Newspapers and our friends on the Springboard channel, where all these conversations are curated for your learning. My name, as always, Albert Okran, saying God bless you, and God bless you.
Going to the library. Going to the library.
Okay. I'm going for my graduation. Go well.
Education changes stories, and being part of these stories is the real passion for us. MTN.
No stress. Submit your insurance claim online in just seconds on the Claims Express portal. Simply upload your national ID, cost estimates, pictures, and more to get started. Submit online, track progress, and get paid fast. Skip the paperwork and get back on the road with ease. Visit claimexpress.enterprisegroup.net.gh for easy claims and quick payouts with absolutely no stress.
Enterprise, your advantage.
The journey from idea to enterprise begins with one bold step forward. Are you a Ghanaian or a legal resident in Ghana with a registered business operating in Ghana? Are you between the ages of 18 to 40 years old? If your answer is yes to all of these, then this is your time to be in that spotlight.
With up to 500,000 Ghana cedis in cash prize and mentorship to grow that dream business through Enterprise Spotlight, this is your big moment. From agriculture, fashion, engineering, transportation to AI and software technology, as long as it's innovative, impactful, and ingenious, it belongs here. To apply, simply scan the QR code or call the number displayed on your screens right now. This initiative is proudly brought to you by the Enterprise Group and is a youth entrepreneurship challenge.
Enterprise, your advantage.